Hey guys, what's up? I am back with another update and news video for Call of Duty World War II. I had a lot of fun playing the beta last weekend. If you guys didn't know, the first weekend of the beta has already ended, but the next and final weekend of the beta starts Friday on September 1st and runs through till September 4th. If you already played on the PlayStation 4 private beta, I do have some good news for you, and that's that your stats and weapons, everything you've earned and achieved in the beta, actually carries over into the second weekend. And Xbox players now have the chance to play the beta, as this weekend is open to all console players. And there's no date yet on the PC beta, but as soon as that's announced, I'll keep you guys posted. And a lot of information about the second weekend and World War II in general has been released, and I wanted to go over it and give my thoughts and opinions on each one. And the first thing on the list that I noticed was they're changing the amount of score earned in domination from each kill from 50 points to 100 points. This is kind of a big deal because the score streaks in Call of Duty World War II, at least in the beta, were kind of hard to earn. The UAV was about 10 kills in domination or something crazy like that. You need a lot of kills just to get a UAV, and I know UAV spam, that's not something we want, but domination kills, I believe, have always granted 100 points in score, at least within the last several years, so it's nice that they're bringing that back up. Up next, they're increasing the team deathmatch end match score from 75 to 100. 75 was always the traditional end score for TDM. I don't really play a lot of team deathmatch, so I don't really care about this too much, but they're raising it to 100, and Treyarch implemented the 100 change in Black Ops 3, and ever since then, it's been 100, and this is something that's not really too big of a deal, but it might as well just increase it to 100 because that's what we're used to with the last two CODs, and 100 just seems a lot better than 75 in my honest opinion. Up next, they want to address hit feedback issues with improvements that include better audio and more obvious headshot indicators. And I'll be honest, when I played the beta, I never had any issues with either of these, but any problems people are having with hit markers in a Call of Duty game is definitely an issue. We don't want that. We want everything to be smooth and very responsive. Up next on the list, we have the reducing of the Molotov from 2 to just 1 per score streak. Now, I definitely agree that the Molotovs definitely needed some sort of adjustment in the game, and that's based on the fact that you only needed 300 score to get the Molotov, and despite what I said about the domination kills and the score streaks being harder to obtain, it was only 300 score streak to get, so it was not super hard to get. It was the lowest in the beta. I think it's the lowest score streak in the entire game, and when you die, they don't reset. And the Molotovs become super spammy because it only takes 300 score. I really just don't like the fact that it takes only 300 score to get the Molotovs and you get 2 of them. If they reset it on death, it would be a little more reasonable. If they raise it up a little bit, I would also agree with that. They just need to do something to kind of balance the Molotovs out. The next one on the list is probably the most important, and that's the sprint out time refinement. Now, if you play the World War II beta, you probably noticed that when you're sprinting during a gunfight mid-sprint, when you're pulling your gun out, that means when you're aiming down sight on your gun to shoot the enemy, it's extremely slow, like unbearably slow sometimes it feels like. It feels like I'm playing Call of Duty 4 back when that game came out. Now, you do have quick draw that you can add onto your guns, and it helps out a little bit, but it definitely needs some refinement because it does feel super slow, and I find myself relying on the gunslinger basic training perk way too often in the beta. Next up, we have the incendiary shells on the shotguns. They are being turned off by default. Now, this is great. My personal opinion, I think they should be default off anyway because there's only 4 incendiary shells. You only get 4 of them as opposed to your regular shotgun ammo where you probably have 3 or 4 times the amount of bullets. It just makes sense to have them turned off by default, and if you want the incendiary shells, just load them in when you spawn. Not too big of a deal, honestly, but it's good to see that they're adding that back in because they did change it previously where they had it swapped before. Up next, we have the paratrooper strength and cost balancing. The paratrooper is a score streak available in the beta and the full game for Call of Duty World War II. The paratrooper, from what I'm getting out of it, seems to be the equivalent of Treyarch's dogs or the Raps from Black Ops 3. But honestly, they're not very good. I came across a couple paratroopers on the enemy team a couple times during a few matches. They're really easy to kill, and they cost way too much to get in this current state. It's not even worth getting them. I did obtain them a few times from the care package in the beta, but right now, I wouldn't even go for them. Maybe they'll adjust it in the second weekend of the beta and for the full game, and they'll be better. But honestly, I think they need to balance it out. Maybe reduce the strength a little bit, reduce the cost, and just add dogs in. Let's be honest, dogs are always the best kill streak when it comes to this. Raps, dogs, they've proven time and time again that they work. The paratrooper, if they can get it work, sure, but right now, I'm not feeling it. Following that, we have recon aircraft, too vulnerable to rifle damage. Now, I can agree with this. Whenever you see a recon aircraft, which is the equivalent of a UAV, and they're super easy to take down. I remember using LMGs and assault rifles all the time in the beta, just look up and just shoot about a magazine each. Honestly, it didn't take that much, and just shoot down the recon aircraft. And for a streak that takes a little bit of time and effort to actually get, as opposed to UAVs or recon aircrafts in past games, definitely needs to be tuned up a bit, increase the health maybe, or reduce the damage from any weapons to the recon aircraft. The colorblind support option is the next thing on the list, and of course that should be there by default. It's good that they're actually adding it in there. The last thing on the list is they're adding bumper jumper and other controller layouts back into the game. Of course, I would expect this to be released at launch anyway, but really important, I guess, if you don't have a scuff or any way of using external buttons like the paddles on a scuff, bumper jumper is really important. I know they have the stick and move where basically you can jump without taking your fingers off of the button. And the jump shot, if you're familiar with Black Ops 2, is actually very similar in this game, and it's pretty good. So it's nice to know that they'll have the option in there for people that don't want to pay money for a different controller or some other external device. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below, hit subscribe, hit that bell if you want to see any notifications for when I upload another video or go live. Remember to stay tuned and stay humble, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.